Hey, hey, check, check, 1, 2. Hey, hey, check, 1, 2.
Okay, we're rolling.
All right, we are rolling in the rec room tonight with Che Arthur.
With chaos in your body, chasms deep in your heart, you let this crumble now. At this late hour, you say your prayers and turn the lights down. With you lost for words and self-destructive urge, you let this slip away. You felt this slip away. It slips away. Yesterday, at the end of the season, you walked too close to your dividing line. You were begging them to give you the reason. It was enough that you could see their designs. You're disaffected. It's disingenuine. Today's debate about the kind of fix you think you're in. It feels drastic. Pretend you win. Peel off the plastic. Take your medicine. Can your self-deception raise the dead? When you can't pretend to bargain off the price on your head. All of the lines that were left unspoken cannot erase the stain. Just one more outer remain unbroken. The speed of sound again. Now go forth writ large with failure of compassion. This terminal reaction before the bullet leaves the barrel. The weight of the act comes clear. The strength of the cloth, the dust on the ice. You put your feet in steps of those who fed the device. You hear the summons with your fire to impress. Watch the undertaker's glow of success. Can your self-deception raise the dead? When you can't pretend to bargain off the price on your head. All of the lines that were left unspoken cannot erase the stain. Just one more outer remain unbroken.
All right. What's the name of that track?
Thank you. That song is called Before the Bullet Leaves the Barrel.
Before the Bullet Leaves the Barrel. I love it.
True story. It's on the most recent Pink Avalanche record.
Okay. We're jumping right into subject matters then. The latest Pink Avalanche record.
Yeah.
What
which
is
not
Pink
that late
Avalanche?
now. Pink Avalanche is a band I play in that I've been playing in for like 10 years now.
All right.
Our third record came out. Now it's not that new anymore. It came out like 2 years ago. But that song's on it.
And you front that group?
Yeah, I play guitar and sing in that band.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what are the other instruments?
We're a three-piece now. It's just guitar, bass, and drums.
Guitar, bass, and drums.
We used to be a four-piece, and our original bass player Pete moved to Puerto Rico, and so we didn't want to add a new person. So
Second guitar became
guitar,
bass.
became bass. Yeah.
Classic. I think the Flaming Lips did that too.
Oh, yeah?
And I don't know. They did something where they didn't replace one, and I think actually the drummer became bass maybe, or second guitar. I don't know. I've seen them as a 5-piece and a 4-piece back in like the late 90s, early 2000s. It's irrelevant. Cut that. It doesn't matter. All right, so that's a Pink Avalanche tune.
Yeah, it is.
All right, love it. Are all of the songs you're doing tonight Pink Avalanche, or are some of them going to be...
No, I decided to try some super old songs. Or before I was in Pink Avalanche, I did some solo records, And there's some songs that I'm going to try that I haven't played in like many, many years.
I love that.
And then some Pink Avalanche songs too.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I've known you for 15 years or so,
Yeah.
and I've never had a chance to hear you. I've always known you as a sound guy, not as a sound maker.
As most people would probably say that. Yeah.
Right, so it's a real treat to actually get to hear your musical output.
Oh, thank you.
Let's do another one.
Okay. This is also a Pink Avalanche song. Forgive yourself, you are the bed you make. Everything you do winds up the same mistake. You lake of severed limbs, crowned in exhausted hymns, creates a place to lie in states and live with sins when your humility is liability. It's up to you to settle everything. Learn about simplicity and silence here. This is the first and coldest day of the year. You leave it all. Do you believe that it would fade? This trail of ash led from the place you were betrayed and followed you down from the cradle to the grave. Cradle to the grave. Stuck on the yards, you live at one extreme. Now that you're bruised to the teeth, you can feed on the pain. Your frozen dawn, the barren strain, the resting place of beast we claimed we'd slain. Erase your guilt inside the labyrinth you built, when all those promises go unfulfilled. The words in your head, how they remained unsaid. The spark inside of your heart that was killed. Standing another day out on the shore. Just leave a thought or a trace of your soul. A new eternity stared through a hole. Don't stay in the cold. Don't stay in the cold.
You maybe like 3 lines from the last chord there did a great little like trill with your fingers coming down there. Man, good on you for not going back to that. I am such an idiot. Like anytime I write something and it's like fucking killer like that is, I overdo it. I do it 10 more times, you know, like, and fade out with this, you know, it's just like, so good on you.
The real truth is that I never know what I'm doing,
Ah, okay.
and I just do stuff.
You hit it. Well, it sounded fantastic right there. Fantastic. So I'm not going to ask what genre, that would be inane, but like what band when you were a teenager made you like say, I want to make these sounds as well?
So there's a bunch of answers to that question. I would say, like, when I was like, the reason I started playing guitar when I was 12 years old
Okay.
was because I was a big fan of Prince when I was 12.
I love it.
and now.
That was my first cassette. I saved up my money and bought 1999.
Nice.
When I was like 8 or 9.
That was the first Prince album I heard as well, because I remember like my dad bought 1999 and had it at home, and that was the first time I heard Prince.
It's still my favorite.
And I love it. So that was like why I started playing guitar, because of that. But I was also
That's wild. I would never think like Prince as guitar. He is amazing, and I've come around to that as an adult.
A ridiculous guitar player.
But like he's been overlooked as a guitar player his entire career.
Yeah.
Have you seen that bit at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
When you did the thing with the George Harrison
Yeah,
song?
yeah. Have you heard the backstory on that? That like
No.
it was Guitar Player magazine left him off the 100 greatest players of all time. So it's like a direct response to them doing that.
Wow,
like,
really?
And I think like everybody was kind of in on it, like. And anyways, I love that whole like thing, and I love the
so good.
spiteful like killing it out of spite.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But so Prince made you want to play guitar at age 12.
Yeah, and then like a little bit after that, or around that same time, actually, I was also hearing for the first time like this record became. It has a different connotation now than it did then, but I mean, I'm old. It was 1983, and I was 11 years old, and the first Violent Femmes record came out.
I love it.
And I often say to people that record changed my life, which I think it did, because I was 11 years old, and it was the first like at the time that fell into the category of punk rock.
Absolutely.
It was the first punk rock record I heard. Was that record when I was 11, and I was like, oh, this is. And it sort of led me into all this other stuff. And like a couple years after that, I was listening to like Bad Brains and the 7 Seconds and Husker Du and that. Like a couple years after that, so like all that stuff became an influence. And then, I would say the second answer to the question would be like Bob Mould, Husker Du.
I love that. I love that. Husker Du via the Violent Femmes. That's your door into punk rock.
That's how it happened. Yeah.
You know what though? Che, that is a fantastic story of the way into punk rock through the Violent Femmes. Because you got to think there's some kids that their story is, I was really into Sum 41. And that was their door into finding punk rock.
Yeah.
I'll take
really
the Violent... nothing against Sum 41,
Sure.
But
it's really interesting. It's like it means a different thing now than it meant then.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's like a much broader definition of it than there is now, it seems like.
Those first two Violent Femmes records, my brother had them. He's 7 years my senior. So what does that put him? Somewhere around 49 or 50. But he had them on a cassette. One half was Violent Femmes 1, Violent Femmes 2. And so for me, that's sitting in the back of the Chevy that he was driving, probably at age 15 or 16, whatever, hearing those Violent Femmes records. It's like that second one with I Hear the Rain on it. Like, oh, yeah. I Hear the Rain. Like, oh, man, that's just, we're in a Chevy Celebrity listening to that. I'm like 8 years old or whatever. Great. So let's do another tune.
Okay. This is a super old one. I'm going to try it, and we'll see. No, actually, we'll do another Pink Avalanche one first.
All right.
Just swallow you a sugar sweet illusion. No one to pay attention when you frame the denials. Keep you safe enough to live in their delusion. So content to never move a finger over the dial. Stand weak, need and wait for you to fail. Live writing out a story of betrayal. Lump totally with every small distraction. Hoping you would stay asleep and miss the action. Failed you with empty spaces. Lies I never told you, now you're just worn out faces. With just a story that they sold you, no one believed it for a minute but you, yeah. Red lines across a dirty wash of fiction. Trust issues in a court of sworn enemies. Pushed out into a desert of convictions. They wrote their letters on the drive when they failed you with empty spaces. The line I never told you, now you're just worn out faces. With just a story that they sold you, no one better in the light with these distant traces of any reassurance you could wall around you. And empty spaces of forgotten words that we once believed were true.
to the surface. Lost search for any path of vindication. They left you to lay down and take the curses. But when their show of indignation filled you with empty spaces, the lies I never told you, now you're just worn out faces. With just a story that they sold you, no one looks better in the light with these distant traces of any reassurance you could wall around you, and empty spaces of forgotten words that we used. Empathy was something never said to me, and sincere apologies were fed to me. Said it stopped, but looked like it was bled to me, until our only dream was dead to me.
That was the same song you did at Soundcheck, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to take a guess, and then you're gonna correct me if I'm wrong. Are you writing lyrics first and then adding music?
I used to.
Because the lyrics are, I think they're great and they're complex, but I can't imagine layering that after the fact. But maybe you did.
I did.
Okay, I'm wrong.
It's really interesting. Like when I was when I was like a teenager in early 20s and stuff like that, I wrote all the time. I just kept like notebooks that I carried around with me all the time, and I would just write whatever came to my mind, and then I would fit that into music that I wrote. But now it's like the exact opposite. Now I just like write a lot of music.
Interesting.
And then when it comes time to like make the record, a lot of times I write the lyrics then.
Interesting.
That's how it was on that Pink Avalanche record, which is the second one. I wrote a lot of those lyrics like right before we went to the studio, and we had the music already.
That's cool. Total reversal in how it was done. Pretty wild. Before we started rolling, you said you were from Mobile, Alabama.
I am.
So I'm just saying that for the record of the camera. Obviously, there were other people playing music. Did you stay there through childhood, through high school?
Yeah, I was born there, and then I left when I graduated from high school. Yeah.
Right. So in high school, then, you're 12. You pick up a guitar. You're playing Prince and Violent Femmes the best you can. Love and Rockets. Oh yeah, I love that.
I loved Love and Rockets.
Who else? There's obviously going to be some other bands playing in Mobile. You know, did anybody come out of the Mobile, Alabama scene of that time? Like,
you know who's from Mobile, but are way younger than me is do you remember that band XBXRX?
The name only.
They were like a pretty rad kind of punk rock, kind of noisy band that I remember like Sonic Youth kind of picking up on them and like bringing them out on tour and stuff like that. I feel like that kind of thing.
But that was after your time
They were
there.
from Mobile, but that was like way after I left. There wasn't really. I think Jimmy Buffett may have lived in Mobile for a minute or something, or near Mobile, like on the Gulf, like on the
Sure, but that wouldn't have been
somewhere
your
down there.
scene
But that's kind of not my scene. There's not. Yeah,
I didn't know if there was another band that around the same time was.
But you know who else is from Alabama? From Alabama though, that is huge is Lionel Richie.
Oh, interesting.
The Commodores started in Central Alabama.
That's wild.
And they're kind of like one of the bigger, I guess, and Hank Williams.
Yeah. That's not nearly as unexpected as Lionel Richie.
Yeah, totally.
I would have pegged him as more, like I don't know. I don't even know, like city.
Yeah,
the Commodores I would have thought were more city. I don't know which city. It could be Portland or New York.
I want to say they started in Tuskegee, Alabama, which is where there's a college there and everything. I think they started at the college there.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure.
I've only been to Alabama twice in my life. I had fine
place.
experiences.
Yeah, it's fine and
right. It'd be easy to take some pot shots about it. I'm not going to. You can. You're from there.
Yeah. Sometimes it's made pretty easy.
All right.
It's
a fine place.
Some of my favorite people are in Alabama.
Absolutely.
So
are you the only one in your family to leave?
No, but I'm currently one of the few that lives so far away. I've got some other family that live out in like Phoenix and stuff, and like the Bay Area. But almost everybody else, in my family's either still in Mobile or the farthest away they live is like Atlanta.
All right.
Or Birmingham.
Sure. It's a big city.
Atlanta
Atlanta is kind of the big city down there.
It is now, yeah. I mean, I remember it's crazy. When I was growing up, Atlanta was not like that at all. Like when I was a little kid, Atlanta was like small, And then
It's
it had like a
pretty
big
big now.
explosion,
Yeah.
you know, and now it's like a huge.
It's a major
it's
like
like
cultural
it's a major
center
city.
and like
yeah, it's crazy.
it has to be recognized.
Yeah.
Let's do another tune.
Okay. This is old, and I have never played it at a show or anything.
World debut.
Yeah, and
an
it's
old
like
song.
it's from a record that I put out like 12 years ago. But it is it seemed timely to me, so
All right.
we'll see what happens. Watch the sunset on a UK beach. Still things seem the same. Everyone here has had the same idea, no matter how many times they've changed its name. And the stillness of the sea is like the silence between former lovers who pretend they never knew each other. And the world is a lonely place today. Can we reach out to someone else in some tangible way? I'm standing here waiting to understand this should be effortless. Make heads or tails of this. Everyone wants to breathe the air at the shore with the one they can call their own, and grow old with that person who walked to the pier where they find the feelings they've had for each other have grown. Look how they've grown. But the world is a lonely place today. Can someone reach out to someone else in some tangible way? Standing here waiting to understand this should be effortless. Make heads or tails of this. Here they walk with the wonder of children. Here they stand with the wisdom of age. And the pity they feel for the old and alone. And the sadness they feel when the one they had loved is gone. They're all eventually gone, yeah. And the world is a lonelier place that day. Can someone reach out to someone else in some tangible way? I'm standing here waiting to understand this should be effortless. Make heads or tails of this.
Hey.
Did what I could.
I think it works. I think you're right about the. Did you use the term timeless?
Timely.
Timely.
It felt-
Timely.
yeah, it felt
It could be
like,
both,
you know.
but we'll go with your timely. I think that's appropriate for the modern age, reaching out and this era that we're living in, touching someone else.
Currently are a lot of very lonely people. Right
Yeah.
now. People who live by themselves and haven't seen anybody for a year.
Yeah,
kind
man,
of thing.
That is such a wild thing. That has not been my experience in this past year, which we talked about. I've had 2 kids, 10 and 6, and 2 dogs and a wife. So we've had a full house of interaction.
I actually do live by myself, and it gets weird sometimes.
Yeah. What are some positives? I mean, not to
Well,
but
one of the things that I sometimes think to make myself not lose my mind as much is that, like, what if I had a roommate that I didn't get along with or didn't like, and I was stuck with them for the last year?
yeah.
And it would be perhaps
That'd be
kind
harder.
of torturous. Yeah,
Or would you learn to get along better?
maybe.
When would it seem insignificant?
Maybe like fall in love.
Could be. I mean,
It's been you all along.
but I think a global pandemic has surely made us reassess some former truths that we had, or some former, like ideas about what was important. Like I know that. Well, I'm not going to go into my things because whatever. But I do want to know about you leaving Mobile. Did you come to Chicago straight away?
No, I went to college in Alabama for a minute.
Okay.
In Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
What did you go for?
My majors were going to be
I love this.
Political science and anthropology. Well, okay, so first it was supposed to originally have been journalism because in high school, actually from the 6th grade on, the journalism teacher at my high school, who was also one of the algebra teachers, took me under her wing and I was kind of her journalism protege, starting in like the 6th grade, and for the rest all the way through high school. She taught me a bunch of stuff. She taught me layout, and she taught me how to develop film, and she taught me like all this stuff. On the off time, like not even in class. Like she would have me come over to the building. She was like in a separate building. She would have me come over there after school while I was like waiting for my mom to pick me up, and she would like show me stuff. She'd be like, here's and I assume you were receptive like, to typefaces and film and all these things, and I loved it. And
right.
So I was kind of like her protege for like 6 years, and then I was gonna major in journalism, and I changed my mind at the last minute, and I did political science and anthropology, and then I dropped out of school anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Right. So how'd you get out of Alabama then? If you went to school in Alabama and dropped out.
I stayed there for a long time, actually, and I started working at this place where I was booking. I was like 21, and I was like booking this club that was there and doing sound. That's how I started doing sound. I just kind of stayed there and hung out for a while and played in a band. And actually, the drummer of Pink Avalanche and I met there then and started playing in a band there, and then we moved here to Chicago. And
okay.
Years in Chicago.
So you came up with the drummer from Pink Avalanche.
Yeah.
Have you played in a band together ever since, or was there off time?
No, we played in a band at the time called Universal Life and Accident. Then we did that band here for a while, and then when we stopped doing that, and then we both did different things for a minute. And I was in the band Atom on Pocket Knife for a while, and then we started playing together again. When I did some solo records and he played drums on those. And then a few more years passed, and then we started Pink Avalanche.
Cool. Very cool. Let's do another tune.
Okay. All of your tomorrows were decided today. All you've worked for has begun to decay. Living on your island home, there's a fire on the lawn. You have discovered everything you had is gone. And how foreign was the world that you stepped into, and how frightening that the odds were against you. How oppressive was the room you were trapped and studied in. The antiseptic environment. How did you know what was best for you after all of the hard times you've been through? After every day you flew too close to the sun. This is another one. None of these things matters anyway. All of your tomorrows were decided today. All of your tomorrows were decided today.
Nice song. I liked it. I think it worked.
Made it through. Thank you.
And you said that was from your first solo?
That was from my first solo record. That was the title track. My first.
What was the title of the track?
All of your tomorrows were decided today.
All of your tomorrows. It was right there in the song the whole time. What year is that?
2003.
Okay. It's a minute ago at this point.
Yeah.
Seems like yesterday, but it was in fact.
People who were born the year that came out can now register to vote.
Do they say, can they smoke? Have they changed that? Do people smoke anymore?
I don't do that.
They only vape? They only vape now.
I think they can vape.
They can vape legally.
They're allowed to vape.
I thought there's some great like dissonant chords in there.
Thank you.
It was fun. I'm never comfortable writing in dissonance on a guitar.
These tunings are super conducive to it. They kind of make it happen.
Yeah,
Even if you don't want it to happen.
I think it worked though. I think it did work.
Like, oh, there it is. You know.
I've only just begun experiencing drop D tuning. I'm willing to be like, let's see what happens if I play around with this for a while.
I used to write a lot in drop D tune. Actually, around that same time on that record, the All of Your Tomorrows record, a lot of that stuff is in a drop D tuning that I was using for a long time, and some of the early Pink Avalanche stuff was in that too. Yeah.
That's cool. I never experienced alternate tunings until I tried to figure out. I don't know why. I just had a mental block with it until I tried to figure out the finger pickings for Sailing, Christopher Cross.
Oh wow!
I know it's like
is that in the weird tuning?
It's completely wild. There's like an F sharp in there. There's like all this stuff, and I just went online, to find out like. But then when you figure out the tuning, it makes it happen. Which I guess he's an amazing guitarist.
Yeah.
He sat in once for I want to say like Rainbow when they were coming through.
Rainbow.
Yeah, like they were coming through. I have this all wrong, and some internet geek has it right, but they were like whatever town he was from. Like I think he's from like
San Antonio.
Yeah, like a Gulf town in Texas or something. Anyways, somebody was sick that night, so he like sat in as like a 16-year-old.
That's insane.
And then he comes, 5 years later, has the soft rock hit of the century.
Yeah.
Which is an amazing tune.
Yeah. I really like that song. Sailing is great. It also is Ride Like the Wind. That's him. That's
I think
song,
it is.
Yeah. I know Kenny Loggins is on it.
Yeah. They're all on each other's records at that point.
But I think they're
like, let's just keep putting phaser on this Wurlitzer and keep this thing going.
My favorite thing about that song, Ride Like the Wind, is the first line of the song. It is the night.
We know where we are.
That's a great.
We've landed in the night.
It is the night.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Well,
let's do another one.
Okay. Science, but it's good for guilt. And are we crying over milk we have not spilt? This sour situation seems so hard to face, but sometimes I can feel so easily replaced. I let you know that I was bleeding just to show that my heart was beating. These sentiments that we dare repeating, bear repeating, yeah.
it's not what you asked for. Yeah, I finished trying to be perfect in your sight. Yeah. And are we trapped in trials, or are we mired in denial? Since the tears we sail by forcing smiles. It's not clear. I said that once before you hear. But what do I have left beyond the hope that you will hear me? This is the only thing that I can do, just to say to you, yeah, just forget those complications. Only want you to be near me. This latest tragedy is stark reality, and if I have to let you go, then what's left for me to believe that no one ever saved their lives or put out fires with kerosene? Yeah. Never put out fires with kerosene, yeah.
Wow.
You did it.
Been a while for that one.
Yeah. The second solo album.
Been a while for all of them.
I think you're doing great for, being rusty. Have you been playing
Thank
at
you.
your apartment in this time?
Not really. I've been writing some music on keyboard.
Okay.
Over the last year, I haven't really played guitar very much at all in the past year, or written any songs.
I took
or
10
anything.
years off guitar, so,
I've done it before.
I'm with you, bud.
I moved to Austin, Texas for a while in like 2005, 6, 7, and I didn't play guitar really or write any songs for like 2 years.
It's all right. Let's do another tune.
Okay, what is this song gonna be? This song is also on that record, the
Iron.
Iron. Yeah. Has the moon been obscured? Has my sickness been cured? Is there anything left of the cities I built in your honor? Have the ground's been patrolled? Are things under control? Is there any reason to keep asking this? The shadows we've cast, have their relevance past? Can we write these closing words and seal the gates? Crawling out of this hole, was the good worth the toll? Falling short of the goals, we'd no choice but to live for you. We have dredged this to the core. There is nothing left here anymore. I admit that I was wrong before. There is nothing left here anymore. 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 There is nothing left here anymore.
Another banger. Love it.
Keeping it dark.
It is. You're keeping it dark today.
You know.
It's your time. I hear a lot of
Most of them are dark.
a lot of Jimmy Page in those little rundowns there. I don't know if you were a Led Zeppelin fan.
I do like Led Zeppelin
Right.
quite a bit.
And I mean that in a good way, not in a, like you've stolen it from him, but he's inspired you to run down that acoustic. Play one.
Okay. This is another song off of Iron. You had 3 Iron songs in a row, huh?
Nice.
Surrender here. Our path was clear. What happened that we ended up so insincere? What were the flowers in your soul? This loss of self-control could swallow us this year. Surrender here. Surrender here. Surrender here. Years for the harvest. This empty grain might dull this deepest pain and turn away the truth, and turn away the truthful mirror. Here's to the moment we pull through with what we thought was true and become just what we fear. Surrender here. Surrender here. Surrender here. Standing in a firing line of ill-advised projections. Mistake self-abuse for the search for perfection, yeah. Surrender here, under attack, for compassion that we lack. Things that never ended as we thought they should. We never understood, but now the end is near. Surrender here.
Yeah, that worked.
Catch together again.
Yeah,
Ish.
you're amazing, Che. It's been a real treat.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's
been fun to play the guitar again. And
we didn't even get you've been writing on the piano.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a piano in your house, or are you just using?
Well, I have like a MIDI keyboard.
Got
thing,
it.
Like
Got
an 88 key weighted.
Are you releasing material currently, or are you?
I put out a month-ish ago. I put out some EPs.
I was going to say I saw that happen.
Yeah, I do this thing called Professor Downfall, which is like an electronic-ish type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I play everything on that. So I did one EP just at home this past year, like in the beginning of the pandemic. I wrote all these songs, and then the other one was kind of stuff I'd been working on for a while, on and off, and I decided to put them out at the same time because they sound really different. And
both under the moniker Professor Downfall?
Yeah. And part of me was just like, well, the one that sounds more like rock and crazy electronic and proggy and whatever, and then the other one is like piano and mellow or whatever. And I don't know, I guess I didn't want to like if anyone paid any attention to them at all. I didn't want the first one to come out and then the next one and someone would be like, oh, he's discovered the piano or whatever, or like, oh, this guy is now trying to be hard rock or whatever.
Sure, right. By releasing them at once.
Put them both out at the same time.
Now you should have just done a side A, side B.
I know that.
Thing.
Yeah,
there you
totally.
go. You know, it's just like I've got two sides to me here, and those are available on all major platforms. Bandcamp?
They are Bandcamp, and then also the Apple Music and Spotify and all that.
Yeah. What do you think of a possibility of getting everybody back to Bandcamp and off every other platform?
I think people are working on it, and I like the fact that Bandcamp's doing the Fridays where they waive the fees, and it seems like a lot of people are responding to that. It seems like a lot of people, especially in this past year, have been.
I think that's doing a ton for Bandcamp as a brand.
Absolutely.
Like compared, just kind of like making people aware of it.
Did you know that I think they just started a thing where you can now press vinyl through Bandcamp.
Oh, interesting.
I think so. I think I saw that somewhere.
My 11 followers will be interested in that.
Truly. I think it's good. I think people are definitely kind of like paying attention to that and like intentionally going to Bandcamp on those Fridays and buying people's music that they want to support.
I'm one of them.
I think it's right. I've done it too. Yeah.
I've been thinking about the things I've been listening to all month. I've been thinking about them as people, and I've been saying, you know what? I have $30. I'm going to buy 3 albums, that I've been listening to all month, which is a wild concept. It's we could go on for hours about that. And it's been eradicated, the idea of like paying for music.
That's insane. Yeah.
My favorite artist right now is someone called Lisa Belladonna. She's a synthesizer virtuoso. She's amazing. I'm not, anyways. She's off all other platforms except for Bandcamp.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know how that works out for her, as far as her finances or her exposure or whatever else. She seems to be doing pretty good. She's on just about every Moog advertisement there is these days.
She's probably doing well.
Right, and and I've had the fortune of corresponding with her just online and stuff. We're not tight by any means, but just like and kind of like supporting that idea, like like awesome, do it. Forget all those other places that don't want to pay artists.
Yep,
like
absolutely,
it's ridiculous. Yeah. Like I'll keep buying your records, you keep putting them there.
Yeah,
and like hopefully you can keep making them. Like and the same thing for Che Arthur, Professor Downfall, Pink Avalanche. Put them up there. People pay for them. Like let's do this. Let's pay these artists.
Absolutely agree. Yeah,
keep making music.
Totally.
Because I guess some of the bigger names make money off of streaming services and stuff.
Yeah, but you have to like
you got to hit a certain level before you ever do.
It's got to be a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be like millions of streams. Millions of streams.
It's crazy.
Nothing that I do is going to get millions of streams.
So where can they find you? People that watch.
I'd be stoked to get hundreds of streams.
I would too.
Hundreds would be like fantastic.
Yeah. My last release, I think I did 37 streams. And you know what?
I'm with you.
I love it. I'm also tickled pink that somebody in Indonesia listened to my track.
Right. No,
which is a wild concept.
That is really cool. Yeah.
Like. It is hard when you start comparing yourself to others, though. Mm-hmm. And, like, especially in December when everybody starts doing the, like, my year on Spotify.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't believe that all 1,200 of you listen to my record. I was like, 1,200 people? How did you do this? Who did you sleep with to get 1,200 people to listen to your record?
Whoever it is, I want to sleep with that person.
Yeah, I'll sleep with them. It doesn't matter.
At least once.
I was going to anyways. This is an added bonus. Where can we find you to support you? On Bandcamp?
Yeah,
as Che Arthur?
Yeah, there's I think the stuff that's under my name that's on Bandcamp is like kind of like I do some improv like loop pedal guitar stuff that's like without vocals.
Okay.
And I think the two things that are under my name on Bandcamp right now are that, but Professor Downfall Bandcamp has those two and another release on it. And then all the Pink Avalanche stuff is on Bandcamp.
Pink Avalanche. Yeah. And you're on Instagram? You're on as at Che Arthur?
Che Arthur is on there, and as well as Pink Avalanche, as well as Professor Downfall.
That's the only one I ever really promote.
Instagram.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's the only place that people are connecting with artists. Maybe Facebook still. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of bot activity there.
Yeah, and a lot of people are also like going away from Facebook.
Yeah, on principle, which is fine. I don't need political.
It's tough. The thing that's tough with it about it for me to leave it, even though I want to because they do some shady shit. Is that I just like from all my years of touring and touring internationally and being all these places, I met all these people that I keep in touch with via Facebook.
Sure, that's your network.
And then people are like, well, tell them all to email you instead. I'm like, well,
sure, that's simple.
They're not gonna. I mean, like,
right?
Everybody's not gonna do that, or switch to like something else. But you can't. You switch to WhatsApp, and WhatsApp's owned by Facebook, and like
yeah, it doesn't. Instagram's owned by Facebook.
Yeah.
I mean. The evil's all there. For me, it's a matter of, with Instagram, and this is not a commercial for Instagram, I don't leave it feeling terrible.
Right,
which
absolutely.
I was feeling terrible when I was on other platforms. I was leaving in not necessarily shame, but just feelings of suicide.
It's just it can be very sad.
Right. So Instagram just allows me to go in and check in on my creative people that I'm interested in. And friends that I'm interested in what they're doing creatively.
See some photos of people's dogs and kids.
Yeah, I'm cool with dogs.
Yeah,
I got kids, but I don't post.
I follow a bunch of accounts actually that are like animal related. Like there's a guy that has like a refuge in Mexico where he has like lions and
big cats
and stuff like that and like panthers, and it's like him hanging out with a panther, like just petting the panther on the head or whatever. And then I follow another one that's like it's more like seals and walruses and stuff.
I love it.
It's perfect.
That is perfect.
Yeah,
it's perfect. I've been into like this account lately called Vintage Sci-Fi Art or something. Just kind of like old pictures of what they thought the future was going to look like.
Oh wow.
Been really into that. And then there's this other guy artistically called Pixel Past, where it's a bunch of I think they're screenshots from old video games. But I've been loving the pixelated pictures. Che, what a treat today. What a treat.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, and thanks to Eric, since it's not really me.
And thank you, Eric.
And Marlon and Edgar, thank you so much. You got an encore for us?
We're gonna do two. I'm gonna finish on two Pink Avalanche songs.
All right.
Which one of them is the song I always play last now for some reason. Yeah.
Cool. Play it last.
Like Slayer always played Angel of Death last, and then it was like became their thing. I just want to have a thing.
The show's over when I play this song.
Yeah. So these are those two.
Perfect.
And, thank you again. Silver tongue, you found someone. The ghost that laughed at chance. Vacant eyes, slow surprise. We never stood a chance. Frozen heart, we played the part. Your words a sling and arrow. In the vapors of our promises, they cut me till the marrow. Oh, yeah. You are the wish on dying stars, the gold beneath the tree. I'm forever in your footsteps. You're afraid of ending up like me. Leave the ground and fly overhead. Take it all and fly overhead. woke every morning and silence chilled the air. Looked heavenwards to find you, but you were never there. You could have never been a part of me. You could have never met my eye. I'd only known the vanishing of trails you left across my sky. Out the perfect line to paint you from the frame. This is our way, and now we pretend our ears are sewn. We're still perfect to pretenders of the throne. What our disbelief! We still fell to our knees and broke breath with a thief and died inside. When our lungs collapse, it's the weight of every lie. The breaking of our promise under cold black skies. This is our world war. Everything we ever felt before is all undone. The words spattered on every wall, and all I know, when we pick cover and then we run, they fire at will. Take aim with a heart that's beating still. Try to drown the fear. The ice blue oceans, very different hemispheres, and choke the sun. 10 kings and a pauper on the sinking sands. Turned over with lions and with lambs. This is our world war. Everything we ever felt before is all undone. The words spattered on every wall, and all I know, we take cover and then we run. They fire at will and take aim with a heart that's beating still. Thank you.
Woo! Applause is something that's dead again.
Canned. Cool.